Hey, Ali.
Hello, Andrew.
It's the Showstopper Podcast. It's our monthly chat to amazing people from the world of improv, musical, theatre, comedy, all that kind of stuff.
We're so lucky, the people we get to meet on here.
Yes, we are, aren't we? And not least of which, Ali, this is your first time as co-host.
Oh, it's so exciting. I have been a Showstopper guest on here, of course, before. However, being sat opposite you now, I feel like we're Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah, and who's Morecambe and who is Wise?
I think I'd definitely be Ernie.
Okay, do you think?
Just because of the height difference was what I was thinking.
Okay.
Also,
yeah.
this is a wig.
And short, fat, hairy legs.
There you go.
Famous.
Yes.
That's about all of the Morecambe and Wise references I have.
Oh, weren't they brilliant?
They were. My wife has never watched any Morecambe and Wise.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she hasn't lived.
There's a lot of classic comedy that she has not watched and has no care to.
What about when we're homaging those classic scenes in Showstopper?
Where she's just never going to understand.
Sure.
Listeners may be used to the equally amazing tones of Pippa Evans, who's currently on maternity leave. You're stepping into Pippa's shoes, which might be the same size as yours. I don't know how big her feet are.
I don't either, but they are very comfortable, these shoes, and I tell you what, they're glittery and they're glamorous.
That's all you need.
I like that.
What are you going to bring to the podcast?
I think I'm going to bring a bit of fun. I'm going to bring a bit of chat.
Right.
I'm going to bring a bit of attitude, I hope.
What attitude are you going to bring?
Oh, a friendly and welcoming one.
Okay, good.
Of course.
When you say I'm going to bring attitude, it sounds like quite an aggressive thing.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm just going to be here with my fluffy tones.
And we're in beautiful Southend today.
Yes, it's my hometown. Born and bred in Southend, I was. In fact, like a stick of rock, I got my name running through me.
You've been Showstopper Podcast co-host for 2 minutes, and already you've dragged the entire recording session to your hometown.
Yes.
That is power.
Yes, it is, isn't it? It just magnetises to Southend in Essex. It's a beautiful place. Yes, the seagulls are like gangsters. Yes, that is true. However, the fish and chips are worth it, I think.
We've got an amazing guest on today's podcast. You know her well, don't you?
I do. We've done quite a few shows together. We've probably known each other about, 7 years, and I've watched her go from little seedling to, well, she's taken over the planet.
We're talking, of course, about the amazing singer and comedian Jordan Gray. She was a big hit at this year's Edinburgh Fringe Festival, got nominated for the Dave Comedy Awards for Best Show. She's got sitcom pilots in the works. She's just skyrocketing at the moment.
Like on her poster, she is flying with a cape on her back to pure glory.
And we were honoured to have her as a guest 2 years running in our alternative Eurovision Song Contest broadcast that we did over lockdown.
Yes, that was good fun, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
And she did some really brilliant videos. Who ever heard of a sad clown?
Yeah, beautiful.
So brilliant.
And then the second one was Fly on the Wings of a Penguin.
Stop using penguins' beaks for your ashtrays and shoes was the last line. An eco message. I always like an eco message, Andrew.
Absolutely. We can all get on board with that. We recorded this interview back in September at Caddy's Comedy Club in Southend. Duncan Walsh Atkins was at the keys.
It was a tasty interview in more ways than one. We hope you enjoy it.
Let's have a listen. Welcoming the one and only Jordan Gray.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me on your podcast. It's a nice thing to be on and to be invited to be on.
It is nice of you to be on.
Well, I'll tell you this, even more so, it's nice for you to thank me for being on your podcast and for thanking you for it. What I will say is I come in like a whirlwind, all like frazzled, and you're very gracious with my ridiculous curly-haired energy. Because I've not had a minute to myself for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and now I get to sit down and talk to two lovely people, which is really, really nice. But thank you for putting up with my skittishness as I came into the room.
We loved your energy. You were like a tornado of brilliance.
That's nice. That's like a superhero.
That is great. And we should say, there is good reason for you to be a tornado of skittishness at the moment. You've just come back from the Edinburgh Fringe, where you were the hit of the Fringe.
Isn't that a nice thing? That's a nice soundbite. Like I can't say that. I can't agree with you on that. But that's what people tell me. What a nice thing for people to say. Yeah, it was mad. I won the Next Up comedy, biggest award in comedy. They call it that because it's a 7-foot inflatable trophy. So I won that, and then I won that Comedian's Comedian, which arguably is the greatest honour of my life, because that's all the comedians vote. And then, nominated for formerly the Perrier, now the Dave Comedy Awards, with my show Is It a Bird, which I think is a very clever title, given that I'm a transgender person from Essex and it's about superheroes. So it's like, is it a bird? Is it a plane? But also, is it a bird? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I'm
and
very
you've got
happy.
a pretty brilliant poster for it as well.
Oh, we won that as well.
Yeah,
we
all
won
those
the poster awards. God, so many.
You won all the awards.
Everything that I was nominated for, apart from the old Perrier, which I suspect is probably that's fair that I didn't win that as well. Because not that it was the best show. There's a difference between having the best show and having a show that's talked about a lot, right? Because here's the thing, I'm not going to talk myself down, but I was in a 74-seater, which is easier to sell out than other rooms.
Yeah.
It's a bit smaller. So if you hear that a show's sold out, but you don't know how many seats it is, you go, show sold out? Gosh, blimey, I should tell all my friends about it. So then we sold that out. So then we added 3 more shows at $4.50 a piece. We might never have got to that point if it hadn't been a smaller room. And then we sold those out as well. And when you do that, that's cool. That's a cool story. I think it was a word of mouth thing. And it's really weird being in the centre of the word of mouth of the town. Because I'm like, well, that's me. I can't really push this story any further. You know, like someone will tell me that things are going well and I've got no one to share it with because it's me. The buck ends with me.
Did you go into the festival thinking, oh, I've got something special?
No. I went in thinking I'm going to turn my hour, which is a rough diamond, into a diamond. That's why we go to Fringe, isn't it? To turn the shows into something like a perfect functioning machine. I suppose it's different when it's an improvisational show. You're working your muscles, but you're not ending with a final product at the end. It's just tightening stuff. But I wanted to leave with a show that was perfect to take around the country. But I got all the other stuff as well. So now I have this wonderful show that I'm doing at the Soho Theatre for the next 2 weeks. This will go out the last night of the show. Sold out anyway, so it's fine. I don't need to...
Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
If you want to come see it, you can't.
You can't. Thanks, though. But then, given the timing of the show, I suppose it's all right to announce that I'm doing the London bloody Palladium.
Palladium.
I can't believe it.
Incredible.
It's madness. That show that I've done in a leaky shipping container. And now I've got to put a lot of bums on a lot of seats. So if you want to come along, do that. That'd be nice.
When are you at the London Palladium?
The October 28th. It'll be announced by now, so come to that. October 28th, Is It a Bird at the London Palladium. I can't give you any more information than that. What do you want from me? Do you know what I mean? That is the title and time. Figure it out for yourselves.
How did the Palladium gig come about?
Because we needed a bigger route. This sounds so pretentious. I promise you,
we're going to need a bigger boat.
That's it. It was literally a Jaws situation. They were like, well, we sold out Soho. And then we're like, well, this is silly now. We can't just keep doing small rooms, big runs. We're like, what's the biggest space we can possibly find to fit the most people? And then Palladium got in touch and said, we heard about your Fringe and we'd love to know if you'd like to pop in.
Pop into the Palladium.
2,200 seat concert. Yeah, so we're going to pop in there on the 28th of October and do it again.
That's exciting, isn't it?
It is. What I have found is that my accent comes out so much when I'm on podcasts and radio that it can only infect other people around me. So if you find yourself using my, parlance, my sort of Essex, I know we're from Essex. Where are you from?
I'm from Nottingham.
What's a Nottingham specific piece of dialect?
It's A up me duck.
A up me duck.
Yeah.
That's nice. A up my duck. It's different in Essex.
It doesn't quite work.
my ducker,
Oh, wait.
wouldn't we? Mucker.
Yeah, take out the consonants and it's not the same. Sorry. It's hard growing up in Essex when you're a little bit different. I'm transgender, as I say. Sometimes I have to say it a couple of times because on a podcast I've got quite a deep voice. So why would anybody know my gender leaning?
Yeah.
But when you're transgender in a sort of a estuary town, love me some Tilbury, but it's hard work being transgender anyway, let alone there. Now I live in sunny Southend with my lovely wife, which is nice, where we are right now.
Were you always a performer as a kid?
Yeah, but not a comedian. I was definitely top, bottom, funny people, which I think is a lot. It's really weird. A lot of comedians say that. Like I'm not the funniest person in my family. I'm the least funny person in my friendship group, and I'll throw that out there every time. There's a difference between being funny and having the nerdish sort of obsession of crafting jokes that work in order. That's a completely different skill than being legitimately or improvisationally funny. So I'm the one that's got the most time on my hands, I suppose. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And then it was the voice stuff that really kicked you off, wasn't it?
I do have a voice, comes out of my larynx, and I use it to express myself with sounds and consonants, but also the television show, because I've done The Voice in 2016. I was on it, and I did the semi-finals, and then all the rounds previous to that as well. I didn't just jump in at the
Much like when the London Palladium just calls.
They were like, somebody's dropped out. Can you just fill in for the semis? It was nice. I like The Voice. No bad stories. You hear horror stories about reality TV, but I had a nice time. But then I decided I want to be a comedian instead of a singer. I was a singer for 10 years, and I thought I quite like the immediacy of making people laugh rather than waiting 3.5 minutes to get a reaction from a song.
Right.
Because also, if a song's bad, people still clap at the end out of obligation. Nobody laughs out of obligation unless there's only one of them in the room. And you tell a joke, then maybe they'll laugh.
Have you ever been in that situation? Have you ever done a show to one person?
I did a show to 2 people at the Edinburgh Fringe in 20 17, something like that. One of them was very happy to be there, and one of them was rhetorically answering every single question I asked.
Oh, God.
Like, oh, blooming hell, has anyone heard? I do a joke about the band Five. It's like, so we've all heard of Five. This guy was like, yes, I have. Yes, I've heard of Five. I'm like, that's great. That's great for the comedy. What I need from you is some more laughter and some less just
comment.
confirmation. Yeah, just loud confirmation. I'm like, oh, Yorkie bars, what are they like? They're chocolate bars that I remember. Yep, okay, that's great.
Wow. Smallest audience I've ever played for. I've also done 2 in a touring pantomime. It's also like a touring pantomime is already quite a grim situation. But anyway, touring pantomime.
Did you drive the van?
I didn't drive the van
Okay.
before I learned to drive.
Okay.
Clever. Should never have learned to drive. Anyway, touring pantomime, 2 people in the audience. Production company says to the venue, can we cancel this? Only 2 people in the audience. The venue says no. Anyway, during our touring pantomime, we get 2 people up from the audience, which...
Yikes.
So then suddenly the audience goes to 0.
Goes to
That's incredible.
literally 0.
That's so funny for so many reasons, because of course then when you get to the moment where you realise you've got an elicit a reaction from the crowd with these people,
Yeah.
like, right, make sure you bow, and there's no one to bow to. There's
I
nothing
think
for them
we
to do.
said, give each other a hand.
I think my one would be, I did a tour of the Scottish play, a kids version, it wasn't a big deal, and we were doing a run in London, and it was a very ambitious thing to do, really, on the production company's part, and we had a banquet dance, and there were so few people in the audience, many fewer than in the cast, and I made eye contact as I was doing a Highland fling with a man in the second row, and we both just had an understanding that was really soul destroying at that point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a low point.
And Rita, you married him?
That's how John Oakes and I met.
Amazing. We should back to, because we were on The Voice, weren't we?
Well, no, I mean, I was on The Voice. Calm
You were-
down.
sorry.
I was there. Don't take that away from me. It's not a communal thing.
Just on the subject of voices, Jordan, I wonder if you might do one of your impressions, one of your brilliant impressions, and we'll see if we can guess
Guess
who
who
it
it
might
is.
be.
Right, okay, here we go.
You've got a few in the box, haven't you?
Yeah, I suppose.
I see. The thing is, your scientists, they're so busy trying to make dinosaurs. They're so preoccupied with whether or not they could. They didn't stop to think if they should.
Jeff Goldblum,
Yeah.
amazing
Oh,
work.
it's so close. No, that was Maggie Smith.
It's the mouth shape, yeah.
What impressions do we have in the bag across the table?
Ali's got at least one.
I can do at least one, yeah.
If it's Jeff Goldblum, I'm gonna leave. Where is it?
It's let's go over to Al Graham for a recap and see who you're going home with later.
That's wicked. When we do our panto together, myself and Ali, Ali basically encourages me to do Jeff Goldblum at every possible opportunity, which I do not refuse because I love doing it. It feels nice on the old esophagus, Jeff Goldblum. But it's just like panto lines are so different from Jeff. What's a line from our panto like? Just something. What's a double entendre that we might use panto wise?
Oh, Aladdin, you're here at my entrance.
Oh, Aladdin, you're here at my entrance. Yes.
I love doing it.
It does sound like it's just really
Just like what
mysterious and
yeah.
brilliant when it's Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum speaks in jazzy riddles. Where he sounds surprised by everything he's saying. That's what I love about it the most.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Yes. What? Yes.
It's like life is coming at his brain really fast and he's processing it in real time.
He speaks in one long sentence, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sort of pauses for breath in the middle of a sentence, but never finishes that sentence.
What is your right? I've got this thing where if I'm trying to think of something, I go, oh, see, the thing is, right? Because, here's the thing. And I've not got anything in my brain. That's my filler. Do you have filler for thinking of stuff? Or are you conscious of what your own filler is?
I'm going to go for a classic,
Yeah.
strong and clear.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I have. My daughter has, well, basically,
That's a good one.
she's 4. Speaking of unusual phrases for 4-year-olds, my daughter and I were playing Mario Kart, and she said, put your back into it, Daddy. And I said, where did you hear that? And she said, over the years, I've come to learn that means do effort. But in this case, it means win the race, Daddy.
That's so great. Over the 4 years.
I've come to learn. Like, where have you heard the phrase, over the years, I've come to
She's
learn?
a professor already.
Well, at preschool, they called her Prime Minister.
Oh, very good.
For good and ill.
What do you have for breakfast, Jordan? What sets you up for the day? What's your favourite snack?
Now, Ali, you're really rolling out the hard, like the tough questions now. I'm
like
sorry we didn't
question
prepare you
time.
for this hard-hitting an interview.
I've been living off energy drinks and licorice soothers at the moment, but I love a jacket potato with cheese and beans.
Would you have that for breakfast, would you rebel?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, full on. Because it's as much carbohydrates as you need for the day. And I do eat like but what's an animal? Like a sloth, where you just load up and then, except sleep, I just run around.
Yeah,
I don't think there's an animal that does that. You don't usually get a tiny animal that eats a massive amount because it doesn't make sense evolutionarily. But
Yeah.
I'm like a rat with a stomach full of food, and I just work that out through the rest of the day. I leap about like an idiot. I learned something about myself, right? Because you do a show 100 times, the same show, you need to find ways to keep yourself from going into autopilot. So I've found the reason I balance on one foot like a flamingo all the time is because it's my brain going, oh, you can't leave the room now. It's like you have to stay present because you'll fall over if you don't. So I subconsciously balance, and that burns a lot of calories. I stand on my leg for 50% of my show, I reckon. I had to edit myself today, and I watched myself, and I'm on one leg for most of the show, and that's how I stay awake.
You're having to jump cut between legs as well for continuity and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing with you though, isn't it? Because you do balance, like you say, for 50% of the show, and it's so aerobic, really, what you end up doing all over your piano, isn't it? It's
Quite
brilliant.
sweet. People often they ask me about yoga and if I have any yoga techniques or advice, of which I have none at all. It is just the show. I think people assume that I'm flexible. I'm dying. Everything's broken and pulled apart. It probably looks more impressive than it is. I'm pulling something every night. Adrenaline, Dr. Showbiz, keeps me fine. And then half an hour later, I feel a bit of my body I didn't know I had for 20 years is now on fire. Like my thighs are killing me. So it's nice to have a sit down and chat, to be fair.
I want to go back to The Voice because we've tried to go back there a while
It's
ago.
like I'm not trying to talk about it. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So you were on The Voice, you were amazing, semi-final, and then at some
you.
point you went, actually, this comedy bug is drawing me. When did that happen?
It was an exact moment. It was on the semi-finals. They have something called Marvin's Corner, and they cut over to Marvin Humes, and the contestants were all there, and it's live. And they handed a mic around to say, "How's everybody feeling?" Which is a silly thing to do in front of. I think we were hitting about 3.5 million, but up to 6 million on some of those shows.
Wow.
Live. And I was wearing a bright red suit, and the couch was bright red, same colour as Ali's microphone shield there. It's like literally as a red nose, and this is an audio medium, so it's pointless things to say.
Showstopper
a clown's
red,
nose. Yeah,
let's say.
showstopper red, exactly.
Nice,
And I thought it'd be really funny to lie down live with the mic and try and and disappear, knowing that it wouldn't work, but I thought it was really, really funny. And they thought it was funny in the room. And I thought, I wonder if 3.5 million people are at home thinking this is funny right now. And that was very appealing idea. It's like the silly childishness of like making stuff up on the spot in front of that many people is quite a thrill. And the music just wasn't doing that for me anymore. So then I decided I want to be a comedian. I was sort of a presenter, which sort of lends itself to comedy.
Yeah.
And then moving into comedy bit by bit by bit. And I just sat in the front row of Top Secret Comedy Club in London for about 3 months. Every third night, I would say, that many times, making notes in a notebook, staring into a comedian's eyes, making notes. I must have looked like a right maniac.
Just everyone thought you were a reviewer.
That's it. Jamali Maddox said to me, he said live, I thought you were a reviewer. That was the first time I had realised that. I was like, oh no, I'm embarrassed myself in front of the whole comedy community. Luckily, nobody knows who the hell I am, so it's fine.
I was just going to ask you about, living in Southend and how you feel that is.
I tell you what, Ali James, I like it.
Do
I
you?
like it for so many reasons. The sun, the sea, and the sand, right? The sun, the sea, and the sand. Those things are different, 3 different things, and I like them for different reasons. The warmth of the sun.
Of the sun, yeah.
The wetness of the
Sea.
sea.
Yeah.
And I like a bit of graininess of the sand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Those 3
yeah.
things combined, it's like a good meal. Like a palette, a well-rounded palette of tactile feelings.
Of tactile feeling, yes. A little sun, sea, and sand.
So I like it here. Also, my wife's here. I mean, that's not exclusive to Southend. She could be wherever I was,
Yeah.
but she happens to be here.
Because
So,
we know your lovely wife because of her appearance in your Eurovision videos, of course.
my little penguin.
When she was your penguin friend.
I love that we could carry that theme on. That was a lovely thing about Eurovision, that these characters had. What's it? How many times did you do it? 3 or 2? 2 or 3?
Two times in the end. This is the showstopper alternative Eurovision.
Arguably, some people would call it the actual Eurovision.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely
Certainly
one of
more
those people.
impressive.
You can watch all of those videos online on our YouTube channel. A fun thing we did during the first lockdown, and then the second year we thought, let's do that amazing thing again. And Jordan, you were kind enough to guest with us both times.
It's so much fun. What's her first name?
Yana. Was it Yana?
Novakova, because my wife's name is Heli Novak. So it's very Czech. So I just added an extra Kova on the end. And Heli was my penguin. And like, it really stuck with me. Heli was so impressed that we had our lovely Les Dennis giving his opinions on our second performance. And he said, I thought it was very, very good. I thought the singing was a little bit repetitive, which I'll hold my hands up to. But it's like, but I thought the penguin held the placards very, very well. And that's Heli's proudest moment. She can hold a placard.
And also, she's a dab hand with the makeup, because the makeup in those videos was outstanding.
Bless her. Heli will find any excuse to make herself like bold. She loves a bold cap. Or in any excuse. She was a clown in the first one, and then she was a penguin clown in the second one. But any reason to cover her head in cling film and paint over it, she will do it. She wants to be Uncle Fester at Halloween. And all of her, if you worked your way down, down her list, it's just more and more bold people. She's got a thing. She loves it.
Wow.
So,
You get her some light bulbs for her birthday. She'd love that, wouldn't she, as Uncle Fester, and a robe.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah.
Does Uncle Fester have light bulbs?
He puts it in his mouth, doesn't he? And it switches on, because he's Addams through and through.
I think I'm not conversant enough in the Addams Family to know that reference. But
And he has that lovely, sweet love song to the moon in the Addams Family musical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Again,
And then he straps himself to a rocket and sends himself to the moon.
Vince Noir's Moon of the Mighty Boosh is on Heli's list as well of costumes.
course.
Just bold things. She loves it so
Yeah.
much. I met him yesterday, old Julian off the Boosh fame.
Julian Barrett.
Julian Barrett and Rich Fulcher yesterday at the show, and old Frankie Boyle as well. It's nice. I'm meeting so many comedy heroes. It's really nice.
You had a British stalwart in, didn't you, in your Edinburgh run?
I did. Maggie Smith. No, I had our lovely Ian McKellen came to see me in the box in Edinburgh.
wow.
It was really nice. Because he's Magneto, of course, and my show is loosely superhero themed. So I made a whole thing of it. It was really funny. I kept picking up my mic stand and moving it towards him and going, Ian, mate, come on. And he's rolling. It was so good. And then I got him up. He deserves to be paid for this, to be fair, because he really put the effort in. He got up and I said, will you knight me as an X-Man? Because he's one of the X-Men and I'm technically an X-Man. So he got up and then he shook his arms in the Magneto fashion at me, like he still everything. And I pretended I was floating because of the iron in my blood, etc. It's a niche reference. But coolest moment of my life. And then he also was just really charming.
Oh, amazing.
He told me off for having a messy dressing room. It's like, you be ashamed of yourself. Very sweet.
He is a lovely person. I met him at Panto once.
Yeah.
Our Panto producer, lovely Adam Brown, was in the Peter Jackson trilogy with Ian McKellen.
Wow.
And he came up on stage at the end and was just staring at us all, and we were just staring. It was during COVID, so there was that strange distancing happening. So it was like everyone wanted to hug or shake hands or what have you, but we just all had to stand there with masks on, really trying to smile with our eyes, you know. But it was lovely to meet him. Sweet man.
I also met Ian McKellen once. Most stressful day of my life. One of my side jobs used to be hosting pub quizzes. Ian McKellen owns a pub in East London, and every year he would come along and he would host the Christmas quiz. Whoever was meant to be hosting that night was sort of Mr. McKellen's assistant for the evening, because he just wanted to read out his quiz and didn't want to have to worry about collecting money from people or correcting answer sheets or making his microphone work and that kind of thing. But of course, everyone knows Gandalf's doing the quiz tonight, so everyone gets down to this beautiful pub, but tiny little pub, and it's packed out. So it's already quite a stressful evening where you just can't walk through tables and get anywhere, but you have to give out answer sheets and mark things and everything. And marking the quiz took forever and all of this. And then in the end, she said, Andrew, could you get on your magic phone? Could you get up the words to the 12 Days of Christmas, because I want to lead a sing-along. Sure, yeah. Turns out very bad signal in this pub to add to everything else. I can't get any signal, just give me another minute. Had to step outside, got the lyrics up, and sort of handed it over to Sir Ian. He goes, okay, everybody here, sing along. Okay, so Partridge in a Pear Tree, let's start. And then, because he's an old guy, he just presses something on my phone and takes it away from that webpage. And then we've lost the lyrics to the 12 Days of Christmas, but he's already started the sing-along. He can't stop it now, and he just looks to me in kind of panic, hands it back. I'm trying to refresh it, but I can't refresh it. And we've got to 6 or something. And he just looks to me. I have one of those moments of bullet time slow motion. It's like, I can remember things. I'm good at this. And he just looks at me and goes, 6 geese a laying, Sir Ian. He goes, 6 geese a laying, everybody. And then that's been the whole of that. Okay, 7 must be swans. 7 swans are swimming. And I just had to go through the whole thing. And each time it just came to me just the second before I had to call it out. And then after he said, Andrew, how did you remember all of those? So I don't think not remembering was an option, really. Just sort of had to, like in a movie.
That feels so cinematic. You could make that sequence that is essentially not that long last for like a whole 30 minutes. Just keep cutting to you shouting it back to him, the whole room. I could see that happening.
It's like the denouement of like a Richard Curtis Christmas movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
British Christmas
We
movie.
just keep cutting to montage and B-roll of, oh, by Jove, he's got it. And then 10 minutes later, you're only on the next number.
Cut into the cogs turning very slowly.
So like a beautiful mind moment, but instead of math, it's just birds and like rings.
Or maybe it's like Slumdog Millionaire, and I have to go back to a specific memory that reminds me of Seven Swans.
That time you saw Seven Swans.
Yeah, be really on the nose. What reminds me of Seven Swans?
You're just sitting in the House of Commons with a bunch of leaping gentlemen. You're like,
it must be something.
House of Lords. Mess that joke up, doesn't matter.
We're
all in this together, and it's the spirit of Christmas.
Exactly.
Have you got any Christmas plans, Jordan?
I like working on public holidays because you get that extra bit of like, sorry, I've got to work. And everyone's like, oh, you're really dedicated to your job. I love working on my birthday for the same reason. So what else am I going to be doing? Eating a jacket potato in the bath is the answer.
Would you have a different filling in your jacket potato on your birthday?
Are you mad? I've perfected the formula. It goes butter, beans, cheese. Mess that up and we're not friends anymore. What about you? What order do you put on your cheese or on your toast or potatoes? Beans? Are you a cheese and beans person?
I'd like a jacket potato, please. Yes, I would. And I'd like beans on it only.
I'm so glad that I brought that along.
With some black pepper.
But same. I don't know why I didn't mention that, black pepper, but I mix that in with the beans when I cook it.
Good plan. Oh, when you cook it?
Yeah, to like disperse the flavour.
Vigilante behaviour.
I'm a maverick.
Wow.
Do you microwave your jacket or do you oven it?
Oven it if possible. Microwave it if I'm in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
That has a microwave.
That's an amazing
Where do
hotel.
you stay?
Some have a little built-in thing, don't they?
Yeah, I
Nice
suppose so.
one.
Kitchenette.
Yeah. Or I
Turn
just
up with your week's worth of
at a
jackets.
push, if I'm staying above a pub, I just stick it under the pool lights for 16 hours and let it do its thing.
Segueing back to the world of performance, I know everyone's tuning in really for the jacket potato content.
Tuna-ing in.
Yeah.
Take it out in post.
Now you've said take it out in post, it's got to stay in because isn't that the rule of every podcast?
Yeah, not
never do. You're not allowed as soon as someone says edit it out. You've got a sitcom in the works, Jordan.
Oh gosh, I do as well. I've done that sitcom what I've done for Comedy Central called Transaction, where it is set in a supermarket and I play essentially myself with a different name and a slightly different haircut. And
I mean, that's all acting is, really. Yourself with a different name, a different haircut.
yeah, that's what I think. It's called Transaction and did very well at Comedy Central, so it got licensed out to a company called Stolen Picture, which is Simon Pegg and Nick Frost's company of Hot Fuzz fame and such. And they're making it, so that's happening, and I am in it. Well, arguably, I'm very much in it. I'm the main one.
Yeah.
But they play my bosses.
But both Simon Pegg and Nick Frost?
Nick will play my main boss, and Simon will do what he did, I suppose, in... what was that Nick Frost film where he was a flamenco dancer? Did you ever see that? Spanish dancing. And Simon just showed up for like a couple of frames, because he's away filming Mission Impossible 40 or whatever. So he just showed up for a little bit. So he'll play the overboss, probably on a Zoom call rather than him having to fly back. But they're just great. They're so obliging. Lovely couple of guys.
And with the Comedy Central, are they full episodes or are they
They're
sort of
short
webisodes?
form episodes.
Yeah.
That's right. Webisodes is a good word for it. Short 6-minute episodes, six-minute episodes. And these now will be full-on episodes on terrestrial television. Not allowed to say what channel it is, even though one of the newspapers already said what it was, but I can't.
You're not allowed. I read today it was on ITV, but Jordan cannot confirm that.
Right,
So
exactly.
you're contractually obliged not to.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. But you could say what you will. And I can't argue with it.
We can say anything. Watch it on HBO Max tonight.
Tonight.
You've already missed it.
So yeah, and then we've got another. Since the Fringe, everything's kicked off crazy. I've got about 4 documentary, entertainment, factual formats going in, and another sitcom, and there's a radio show with Radio 4 about my life after The Voice. In fact,
Amazing.
It's about a transgender person trying to stay relevant after being the first transgender contestant on National Star, the fictional talent show, and then just trying to stay relevant for a year as the new crop comes through and tries to take over. It's funny. It's gonna be funny. It's a comedy drama.
And what's that called?
Spectacular.
Spectacular. Amazing.
It's a really redundant name for a radio program, but I like it.
In conclusion, you are playing massive shows at the Palladium. sitcom in the works.
Yeah.
All kinds of TV projects, Radio 4 show in the works.
Yeah.
But what is almost certainly going to be the pinnacle of your career is making up a song with the Showstoppers. Would you like to do that?
I would very much like to do that. I think life finds a way. I think we can do it. I'm in good hands, surely.
Absolutely.
That's what you do for a living. Thanks.
Let's do that.
Yay!
With Duncan Walsh Atkins at keys, what would you like to sing a song about, John?
Well, we're from Southend, so what about the moment that the tide goes out?
Look at the twinkling water right out there.
I know, it's mad, ain't it?
Do you ever think, being from Essex, we're lucky, aren't we, to be able to see so much of the world from here?
The power station and other things on the other side of the water. Gosh, it's beautiful.
Wet sand slipping through my hand.
The sun bouncing off the waves. It makes me behave in strange ways.
Estuary waves to and fro. Estuary waves come and go. Estuary waves to and fro. Estuary waves come and go. And you can hear the chatter of the kids over at the playground.
You can see the crabs and other things living in the ground.
And smell the smell of fish and chips and lick the salt and vinegar off your lips. Ooh, estuary waves come and go. Ooh, estuary waves to and fro. Ooh, estuary waves come and go. Estuary waves. To and fro.
Beautiful.
Nice.
This is beautiful. Thank you, Duncan.
Thank you, Jordan Gray.
Thank you so much for having me. You are such a lovely treat's worth of people, and I hope to be back with you again soon.
That was Jordan Gray.
Yeah, what a woman.
What a woman. Amazing, amazing. That was a beautiful song you guys did.
Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Well, we're both estuary girls at heart.
Yeah, it shows. As soon as you pluck up that emotional strain.
There it is, running through a salt water.
Yeah, absolutely. Ali, that has been your first episode as co-host of the Showstopper podcast. Can you rate it out of 5, bearing in mind that everyone who listens will also have to rate it out of 5?
Okay, is 5 good or bad?
5 is good. We want people to rate it 5 on iTunes or anywhere else you listen to the podcast.
I'm going to go for a 4 for experience, and I think I could develop.
Ali, that's wow. She's a harsh critic.
But I did really enjoy it. So that point, that 1 point between me and 5 is also a really exciting challenge.
Amazing. However, listeners, wherever you're listening to it, we'd like you to give it 5 stars, please. I think we have 100% 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts until Ali gets there and gives it 4 stars, and then we're going to bring the whole percentage down.
That's going to be awkward, guys. Do it. 5. Please.
Yeah, do it 5. We got some Showstopper the Improvised Musical gigs coming up. We're back in the West End for our monthly residency at the Lyric Theatre.
Yeah, also we're going to be in Harrogate on the 11th of October. Exciting.
Absolutely. And you can find some more tour dates on our website, showstopperthemusical.com. Come and see us make up a musical.
Oh, I tell you what else is exciting, Andrew.
What else is exciting, Ali?
We're only on TikTok now, aren't we?
We are on TikTok now. We got some fun videos.
Yeah, you can duet with the Showstoppers on TikTok. How exciting is that?
Yeah, and some people have been duetting and sending to us, and they're pretty fun.
Yeah, I saw the Clementine one. It was excellent.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Do a duet with us, tag us, let us know you're doing it. Send us a message on any of our social media platforms.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
Twitter.
YouTube.
All them things.
Yeah.
As my daughter would say,
Put your back into it, Daddy, please.
Exactly. All right, Ali. I think it's time to end this 4-star session.
It's so harsh, but I'm ready for it. I mean, I did score myself, so...
All right, that's just for Ali James's performance.
Yes,
is it?
oh yes.
Well,
I thought the podcast was 5, obviously.
Well, I mean, I'd give you 5 stars.
Okay, well, that's good. That's kind, thank you. I also would bounce that back at you, co-host.
Why, thank you. All right.
Okay, well, this has been nice.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.